joins us now. Good morning, Representative. How are you this morning?
I am wonderful. Thank you. How are you today?
We're doing well. We're a little chilly up here, but it's nothing like it was last week, that's for sure. So from what I understand, you are starting your tours, if you will. You are starting to do town halls. Where is your first one today?
My first one today is in Cheyenne at 7 p.m. this evening at the library.
And when you go on these town halls, we know that you have visited all over Wyoming. What do you do in these town halls? What can people expect?
Well, I do visit all over Wyoming throughout the year, throughout this past year. Town halls are a little bit specific because what I do is go in and basically have an introduction laying out what I've done. Now it will be over the last year with my first year in Congress.
Yeah.
What are the bills? What are the committee work? What's the committee work that we've done? And then really I spent a substantial amount of time answering questions. So it's an opportunity for me to engage. So I do a lot of meetings and meet with local leaders and all of that all the time. But what this does is it really allows me to engage with the public on a kind of a one-on-one basis almost.
Which is great because you want to, get to know what your constituents are thinking, so on and so forth. Anytime you may come to KODI, any chance you may be coming to Park County?
Well, absolutely. I don't know that we have it on the calendar yet. I do believe it will be just a little bit later in the year.
Okay.
But meaning probably before June.
Okay.
But I have Cheyenne tonight at 7 o'clock, and then I have Casper on Thursday evening. Then I have to go back to D.C., and I'll be there for a couple of weeks. But we have started rolling these through on my calendar. And so over time, with working with my staff, both here and in D.C., we're getting them on the calendar, and absolutely, I'll be back in KODI.
Great. Okay. Representative Hageman joins us. Every once in a while, she likes to call in. We kind of talk about what's going on in D.C., talk about what she's doing in the nation's capital. I got your newsletter. You put out your newsletter yesterday, and there was an interesting headline in your newsletter. It says, "The border or the government, one must close." What are you looking for as far as the Biden administration to secure our borders, protect our nation from what, is just an overrun of people and drugs and stuff like that? What is it you want the border? How do you want that border addressed by the Biden administration?
So I've visited the border twice now. I've been with both the Yuma sector and the Eagle Pass sector, both of which are two of the biggest hotspots we have down there, one in Arizona, one in Texas. And to say that we're being overrun is an understatement. It was a crisis a year ago. It is now turned into a catastrophe. When I was down in Eagle Pass a couple of weeks ago, what was really interesting is over the previous 3 to 4 days, they had been processing literally thousands of people a day through Eagle Pass. When the administration was notified that there was going to be a CODEL, a congressional delegation of representatives going down there, they stopped that flow. And while we were there were only maybe 160, 165 people that they were processing through there. So they have the ability to stop this, to turn it on and turn it off. They obviously have contact with the cartels because those people are coming through with cartels. So what we want is we want real border security. What the Democrats want is they want to find a way to legalize all these people, including the as much as 20 to 30 million people who already were in this country illegally, and then legalize these as well. We need to build the wall. We need to be putting up the electronic devices that will allow us to track people. We need to do a Remain in Mexico policy. We need to re-implement the policy that you have to seek asylum in the very first safe country that you come to. What we have done is we have opened the door, and there are over 180 countries that are crossing that border. In other words, they're flying to Mexico. They're flying to Central America and then taking the trek north. This is absolute insanity. And when you look at the conditions, you look at the human trafficking, you look at the drug smuggling, and you look, when I was there, there was a room of about 35 men, young men in one room. Most of them were military age, and I don't think there was one person there from Mexico. They were from Central America, and they were from the Middle East. It is insanity that we are bringing military-age men into this country with no identification, no understanding of why they're coming here. This doesn't make any sense, but I did observe one thing. Our bureaucracies are really, really, really good at processing paper. They're really good. Once they get a procedure in place, they're really good at implementing it without ever thinking about what is it that we're doing here. It was bizarre. When you look at what we have set up to take in all of these millions of illegal aliens, it is absolutely stunning in the way that we have erased our border. We have the ability to control that border. Biden has to do that. My view is they can either have an open government or they can have an open border, but they don't get both.
So what is the timeline then of, like, when does the Biden administration have to say we're going to do X, Y, and Z before you say, well, we're going to shut the government down? Is there a timeline to this?
Well, I voted against the CR. I voted against the continuing resolution. So the next timeline is March 1st. And that's too long. We cannot continue. We are having, in December, it was 302,000 people that we know of, that were processed. That doesn't even count the gotaways. In other words, the people who have the backpacks of drugs on their backs. We don't even know how many people. I have talked to the Border Patrol. I have talked to the local police officers. I have talked to the sheriffs down there and the sheriff's deputies. They say this is a crisis beyond anything they've seen. One of the sheriffs down there described the area that he's responsible for. And it's like Wyoming. It's like Goshen County, Wyoming. Goshen County and Niobrara County, Wyoming. Very rural, small towns, good people. Everybody goes to the football game on Friday night. They have a safe house that they discovered in that particular location that is a chop shop where they are sending stolen vehicles and parts all around the country. It was housing hundreds of illegal aliens that they were pulling through that safe house that they didn't even know about. The amount of drugs that were warehoused there was astronomical. Now you think about that. Think about having a warehouse like that outside of Lingo, Wyoming.
Yeah.
Is that the way that we want to live?
No, we don't. And I know the mayor of Yuma, Doug Nichols. I don't know whether you met him or not, but he's a great guy. He's been screaming for years that city is bankrupt because of illegal immigration. They just can't handle the amount of people literally walking through people's yards to wherever they're going, they're going.
When I was in Yuma, we went and met with the farmers, and all of those farmers abut the border. And because they are producing foodstuffs, celery and cauliflower and broccoli and onions and things like that, they are not overseen by the USDA. They are overseen by the FDA.
Right.
And there is a rule that requires if they ever find a footprint in their field, they have to destroy all the crops within a 5-foot radius. Those illegal aliens are marching across those fields.
Yeah.
Those farmers sat there in that room with us sobbing about the fact that their families had been there for 120, 130, 150 years, and they were going bankrupt.
Right.
Because of illegal aliens. They come and they squat in their fields. They have destroyed tens of millions of dollars worth of food, which means then we have to import it. There's times of the year, 70% of our fresh produce comes from Yuma. They're destroying it all because of the illegal aliens. They have over $30 million in uncompensated care at the hospital because of taking care of illegal aliens. The people who live there don't get care in the hospital. They have to go to Phoenix.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That is the pressure that they are putting there. So this is a crisis. This is a disaster. It is a man-made disaster. It is an intentional disaster. It needs to change.
We're with Representative Harriet Hageman, who is starting a series of town hall meetings tonight, and she'll be in Laramie, she'll be in Casper, and you'll definitely let us know when you come to Park County, right?
Absolutely, I will.
All right. Representative Hageman, as always, good to talk to you. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thank you so much, Beck.
All right. Thank you.